Hello, my lovely loves. I'll wait for a few people to jump in. My intention for this reel is to give you as much value as humanly possible in a space of 10 minutes regarding your Instagram and literally any Instagram IG questions you might have. It might be questions about how to turn your followers into clients, your stories, DMs, promoting, getting more engagement, whatever a question is that you have related to Instagram. Literally, I'm going to answer all of them. So please start dropping, hey guys, your questions below. If you're catching the replay, feel free to add a question in the comments or just share a takeaway you got. My second intention for this is to share with you that my Instagram 6-week intensive program is starting tomorrow. I'm so excited, and I've also decided to add in with that all the Q&A calls I'm doing from now to the end of the year, so it's going to be huge. So it starts tomorrow. If that's something you're interested in, drop me a DM now. Maybe just drop me a DM saying interested, and we can talk about if it's a good fit. It starts tomorrow. It's literally everything. My intention for this live and for the program is to literally give as much as I can about getting clients on IG. Something I really see a lot of when I speak to a lot of coaches, a lot of healers, is their sticking point is their Instagram. And there is so much more we could all be doing to get all of this juiciness from IG. So I'm just so excited to share what I've spent, the last 12 months trialing and testing to the nth degree. Amazing. So keep dropping in your questions. Gracie popped in our first one. Do you add prices on your stories? So this is really interesting. I'm in the middle of trialing both options. So a lot of people are sharing prices now on their stories. So I think as a collective, we're getting more and more used to seeing prices. Whereas I think in the past, we weren't as used to seeing prices on our Insta stories. So do I think it's a good idea? I think it's worth trialing for a long period of time and seeing what happens. I've gone off and on from trialing it. So do I have a definitive answer yet? Not exactly. And I do think it depends on the person and the way in which you promote. In your case, Gracie, I would trial putting them there, especially if you're doing some little promos and stuff like that. So depends on your audience. Trial it, do some with the price and some without the price and see what happens. I do a mixture of both. Hope that helps. Amazing. So some questions I got before this is what kind of inspired this, was how to reframe sending DMs. So this is something I like to talk a lot about, and the reframe I like to think of is connection. If you have 600 followers, 2,000 followers, whatever it is, and they were all in a room in front of you, would you just be like, or would you connect with them? Would you get to know them? And the DM process being less about, oh my gosh, will this person buy from me at the end of this DM? And more about how can I connect with these people? And it shows that the more connection you're having from the space of your DMs, the more easily you will be able to have them like interact with your posts and things like that. Amazing. So if you're tuning in live, drop your IG questions below. Nothing is off limits. Ask everything. One of the other questions I got was, how often do you promote on your stories? So I believe that we can promote on our stories in one way, shape, or form. Are you ready for me? Every day. Now, there is a method to this madness, and the method is really high quality stories around the promoting. And not every time you promote does it need to be like these long slides, like going on and on and on. Sometimes it might just be more about, hey, DM me this word. Hey, if you want this. Hey, this is how many spots I have available. So let me know below if that feels useful to know about your stories. And maybe it even still feels scary to promote that much. So for those who just joined, I said promoting every day is okay. You're missing out on so much juice if you're not promoting all the time. Drop any other questions. Another question we got is, was around content and how much to mix it up. So I'm a big believer in mixing it up a lot. I've moved away from just all reels to doing a mixture of reels and carousel posts, which I think is working like incredibly freaking well. And I highly recommend to mix up your feed posts. And I think it'll help your audience as well. Amazing. Cool. So drop in your questions. This was a funny midday kind of middle ground live. Anything IG related, everything is on the table. Program begins tomorrow. If you've seen me promote it and you're on the fence, I'm not running this with these particular live calls again. There will be once a week, and I'm literally giving, each call will be dedicated to a topic. So it'll be like the mindset behind Instagram, content, what works, doesn't work, stories, DMs, everything. So each call is given a little topic, which is super exciting. DM me interested after this or while you're listening to this, and I'll get to you after this, and we'll see if the program is a good fit for you. I find identifying the gap for yourself, well, if it was me, I would be identifying the gap for where your gap is on IG is really important. Is your gap your feed posts? Is your gap your stories? Is your gap that you're not connecting with your audience? Like, identify your gap, and that will help a lot with your Instagram ability and your ability to turn your beautiful followers into a beautiful clients and to really serve your following. So I didn't want to give this live anything specific. It was more so about just everything. So if you have any questions, I'm giving you another chance. I'll drop it below. Yeah. So I'm super excited. I love talking about all things IG. I think it's funny, as an energy worker and a coach who focus a lot on the energetics behind what we're doing. I also love talking about the strategy behind Instagram, because what I find is if we don't know what to actually physically do, this is the part I'm really passionate about, we lose out on Instagram. We have to know the physical bits to actually do as much as the energetic work, and the energy behind everything we do is a big part I focus on, and the mindset is a big part I focus on. The energy is like first, and we keep tidying that up, but without knowing the strategy pieces, we kind of just keep falling short, or we hit a block. But yeah, the energy behind it is super important as well. Hey to the lovelies that just joined, if you have any questions about IG, nothing is off limits, chuck it below. It's also good to find our sticking points, like where is your stuck point when it comes to all of this, because that's probably where you're leaving, your money on the table, or your beautiful clients aren't getting your medicine. And I always try and remind myself, selling is serving. I literally bear the answers to your problem. So how crazy would it be for me to withhold that? I love that you guys are loving that part. Yeah, so it's not about withholding. It's about being able to give and give as much as you can from this fully abundant place. So, yay. So yeah, the program starts tomorrow. If it's something you feel curious about, it's now to the end of the year, and it's really about giving you everything so you feel equipped to not only end the year but start your year next year as well. Yay! So exciting, so cool, so important, amazing. I'm gonna give everyone like another 30 seconds maybe to drop in any other questions. So we've talked about sharing your price on stories, how to reframe DMs, how many times to promote on your stories a week. That's a big one. That's super interesting. And a mixture of your content, how to mix up your content. Maybe whoever's here, drop me a word on like, how do you feel about promoting on your stories? Like when I say that, promoting on your stories every day, how does that actually feel? Because there'll be a lot in there for you to learn about you by how you feel about promoting on your IG stories. Drop me a word on how you feel about that, because I think that for so long it felt really icky, and even for me now, I've done so much work around this, I can feel an element of trepidation when I'm like, oh, I got to promote again. Like, will people feel bored? Will they feel this? Will they feel that? Gracie just shared scary sometimes. Yeah, and it's really about, as like, and Gracie, you can contact me about this after, but like, where is that fear coming from? So what's underneath it feeling scary? Is it that people won't respond? Is it that people won't like me? Is it that I'll feel embarrassed? Really understanding that. Hi Brie, let me know if you have any IG questions. I know you have lots going on in the IG world, so I'd love to help. Yeah, we have to find out what's underneath the scariness of promoting, or underneath the scariness of any part. I'm gonna hang out a bit longer because I am not in a rush. And any IG questions you might have. Another one I got before this was who to actually DM. Like, someone was like, yeah, Adriana, but who do you DM? And I thought this was really funny and interesting. And the who behind it is really about thinking about all the people in your network, all the people who are following you, all the people you've connected with over the last few months, over the last year, all the people who are voting in your polls, who are writing in your question boxes. Like, really think about it from a place of connection and conversation versus like, oh, I'm DMing you so I can have a sale. That is not what it's all about. Yay. Yay, 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 yay. Amazing, my loves. Any other questions, drop them below around IG. Otherwise, shoot me a DM with the word interested, and we will talk about my program that starts tomorrow. It's 6 calls, and it's a bunch of bonus calls as well. And we are going to be covering everything IG related, so your business can do everything you desire it to do. Everything from stories to keeping people engaged to DMs, all of it. Anyway, my loves, this was a lot of fun. I'll be doing it again later this week. I've never done a live on a Monday, so we're just mixing it up. And I look forward to sharing more topics and love with you all. I love you, I love you, I love you. Any other questions that come through, just check it in the comment.